What if I told you that there is a city in France that connects the country with the rest of the world, and it's not Paris? Yes, there is a city in the north of France that serves as a junction for travel within Europe. Lille is a city that connects France with other European countries such as Belgium, Germany, the Netherlands, and the United Kingdom. However, this vibrant city is also a perfect blend of history, culture, and innovation. A city that must be visited if you have the chance. Whether you arrive by train, plane, or car, there are several ways to get to Lille. The city is known for its undeniable charm, great people, and festive ambiance. Let's figure out how to arrive in the capital of Flanders. According to the legend of Lyric and Vineyard, the foundation of the city of Lille occurred in the year 640. However, the first mention of the town in written history dates back from 1066. At that time, it was controlled by the County of Flanders, who controlled the city until the Duchy of Burgundy took over in 1369. In 1477, an alliance brought Lille under the authority of the Habsburg family. Due to all the fooling around the Habsburgs did in Europe, Lille fell under Spanish rule. It wasn't until 1664 when Lille finally became French, once Louis XIV conquered it. Since then, apart from a short occupation by the Dutch, Lille has slowly become as French as they come. Such long and convoluted history has given way to the very diverse city Lille is nowadays. In the 20th century, it was occupied in both world wars, suffered an industrial crisis, and had an employment rate of 13% by 1990. Yet, the city was incredibly resilient and embarked in a real transformation. It focused on the development of the tertiary sector, where factories and workshops gave way to service sector buildings. But it was in 1993 and 1994 when the city started to turn into an international crossroads and a dynamic economic hub. The introduction of Eurostar in 1994 made Lille the linking point for four European capitals. Today, Lille is a tourist destination that stands out at national and cross-border level, thanks to its many assets such as its sense of festivity and hospitality. Let's start with the most popular option for arriving in Lille: train travel. As I mentioned, Lille was revolutionized by the introduction of the high-speed trains. The Paris-Lille railway dates back from 1846, but in 1993 its high-speed counterpart shortened the travel time. Now, it only takes about 1 hour to reach Lille from Paris. Trains toward Lille and the north of France depart from Paris-Gare du Nord. There are 27 different trains that make the journey Paris-Lille. The first one leaves at 6:52 a.m. and the last one at 10:06 p.m. This route is operated by two companies, Ouigo and TGV Inouï. Now, if you are flying into Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport, there is a high-speed train that connects the airport with Lille. You won't even have to leave the airport in order to head to Lille. However, Charles de Gaulle Airport is the only one that has a direct train to Lille. If you arrive in Orly Airport, then you will need to hop on the Paris public transportation to get to Gare du Nord and then head to Lille. If you arrive in Beauvais Airport, well, good luck to you. Beauvais Airport should not be considered a Paris airport. When arriving in Lille from Paris or other regional lines, you will most likely arrive to Lille Flandres station. It opened in 1842 as the Gare de Lille, but it was renamed in 1993 when Lille Europe station opened. This means that Lille has two train stations, both located only 500 meters or 1,600 feet away from each other. You might ask, what was the need of constructing another train station so close to the old one? Well, that's why we need to talk about international trains. Anywhere else, having two train stations next to each other would be complete nonsense, but in Lille, it is actually needed. Lille is one of the largest cities in France and the biggest one in northern France, meaning that regional trains create lots of traffic. Actually, Lille Flandres is the second busiest train station in all of France, without counting the ones in the Paris metropolitan area. Therefore, when the high-speed railway was completed, there was the need to accommodate all the international trains that were going to pass through Lille. This led to the construction of Lille Europe, which is the station for trains coming from or heading to Brussels and London. Except for the occasional long-distance high-speed train from or to other parts in France, Lille Europe only sees international trains stop there. As a side note, some Paris-Lille trains depart or arrive in Lille Europe rather than Lille Flandres, depending on train traffic. Lille Europe is a very well-known station as it is serviced by Eurostar. Eurostar is a train company that connects Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, the UK, and France. This company connects Lille to another European capital, London. A train from London St Pancras Station to Lille, Europe takes about 1 hour and 23 minutes. Eurostar is the only provider for this route, which is iconic as it goes through the Channel Tunnel that connects the UK with continental Europe. The London-Lille ride is a section of the longer and even more famous London to Paris Eurostar route. Besides arriving from Paris or London, you can arrive from Brussels by train as well. That will be the third European capital that has a direct train to Lille. The train ride from Brussels to Lille only takes about 34 minutes with the high-speed train. I mean, the two cities are only 58 miles or 94 kilometers away from each other. Alternatively, you can take the regional Belgian train that stops in several towns along the way and takes over 2 hours. Literally no one takes the slow-speed train. Do not make that mistake. There is so much history between Lille and Brussels, so exploring both cities and then taking the train that connects them is a must. Another option to arrive in Lille is by air travel. Lille has its own airport located 4 miles or 7 kilometers away from the city. Lille-Lescane Airport serves both domestic and international flights, connecting Lille to some European and North African cities. It takes about 15 minutes to get from Lille-Lescane Airport to the city center by car. These are the official taxis from the Lille Airport's website. The taxi ride from the airport to Lille city center costs 25 euros during the day and 30 euros at night. Lille is also serviced by Uber, which might be a cheaper option than taxis. Unfortunately, Lille public transport is not a good option to get from the airport to Lille. It could take you anywhere from 40 minutes to 1 hour and 20 minutes to reach the city. Instead, there is a shuttle bus service operated by Flipco that only takes 20 minutes. The shuttle bus costs 8 euros for a one-way ticket and 14 euros for a round-trip ticket. Now, I do have to point out that Lille Airport is a strange one. There is nothing wrong with it, but it is not as well connected to the world as the city's train stations. To give you an insight, it is not even in the top 12 busiest airports in France. Airports in overseas French territories such as La Réunion and Guadeloupe receive more travelers each day. Plus, most of Lille's airport's destinations are seasonal. Only a few airlines have year-round services. Also, to reach Lille Airport from an international destination, you will have to make at least 1 or 2 stops. Even if you're flying from Europe, a direct flight might not be available. It is not often that we find an airport in Europe with such a lack of air traffic. This is the reason why most people in Lille see the train as their best option for traveling. Nevertheless, Lille is located in a privileged place in the map. 3 major European capitals are less than an hour and a half from Lille. These capitals have major airports, which are some of the busiest airports in the world. Therefore, if you need to fly into Lille, consider flying into one of its nearby airports, as it probably will be a better option than Lille Airport. The main airport in all of France is usually the preferred one when flying to Lille. Paris-Charles de Gaulle Airport is the third busiest airport in all of Europe. It is the main hub for Air France, but it is also serviced by other major airlines. Despite how busy and massive the airport is, you can get from there to Lille very easily. As I referenced earlier, there is a high-speed train from Charles de Gaulle Airport to Lille. The airport has its own train station located at Terminal 2. From there, it only takes 54 minutes to reach Lille Flandre. There are several trains throughout the day, from early in the morning until late at night. When the trains are not running, there are some buses that can take you directly from the airport to Lille. However, buses take over 2 hours to complete the trip. Similarly, driving from the airport to Lille takes about 2 hours, but at least you have the opportunity to enjoy a beautiful drive. The other nearby airport to Lille is Brussels Airport. It receives over 26 million passengers a year, and it is the main hub for Brussels Airlines. Even though not as many airlines service this airport as Charles de Gaulle, it has direct flights to all over the world. Brussels Airport is closer in distance to Lille, but that distance is not reflected on how long the trip takes. The 35-minute train ride from Brussels to Lille is almost doubled by having to get from Brussels Airport to Brussels Midi train station. For some reason, taking the metro system to the train station takes a long time. Maybe it's best to grab a taxi or Uber to the train station. In case you wanted to drive from Brussels Airport to Lille, it will take you 1 hour and 30 minutes. Finally, You can get to Lille by car, as it is easily accessible via the European highway network. From Paris, it's a 2-hour-and-a-half drive on the A1 autoroute. This drive is beautiful and worth making to explore the peaceful French countryside. From Brussels, you can expect about a 1 hour and 20 minutes journey. There are two routes you can take, one that drives through Belgian Wallonia and another one that drives through Belgian Flanders, as both routes take about the same time. It's up to you if you want to explore the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium or the French-speaking one. However, the coolest yet longest drive to Lille is from the UK. From London, you will have to drive through the English countryside until you reach the English coastline. There, you will have to make a decision: hop on a ferry or go through the Channel Tunnel. When taking the ferry, you will have to drive to the port of Dover and get your car on the ferry toward Calais. Tickets for the ferry start at 92 British pounds or €110 per vehicle, with the ferry ride taking 1 hour and 30 minutes. Once you park your car at a designated parking space, you will have to get out of your car and head upstairs to the passenger deck. Due to regulations, you cannot stay in your car while the ship is at sea. Fortunately, the passenger deck has rest areas, a duty-free store, restaurants, and even a premium lounge. These are the general guidelines for checking in. Be mindful not every ferry company allows food passengers. If you choose to take the train shuttle through the Channel Tunnel, then you will have to get to Folkestone. When taking the shuttle, you drive into a train set up for transporting cars. Once inside, you can wait in your parked car or get out and stretch your legs for the 35 minutes it takes to get to Calais. Driving through the Channel Tunnel is not really a drive, but more of a tow to the other side. Still, it is the fastest way to get to France from London. These are the prices for the shuttle in British pounds. If you only want a one-way ticket, then you will have to book the standard option. Whether you are taking the ferry or the shuttle train, you need to get there earlier than your departure time in order to check in. The times vary by provider, so check the website of the company that it will take you across the English Channel. Once you arrive to Calais, a 1 hour and 10-minute drive awaits you to get to Lille. In summary, from London to Lille by Le Shuttle will take about 3 hours and 20 minutes, without accounting for the check-in wait, while taking the ferry will be a total of 4 hours and 30 minutes. To this trip time, you will also need to add the wait for checking in. Give yourself enough time to get to the port before the reservation, as you are crossing a border where you will have to pass through a security checkpoint and get your passport stamped. The truth is that it doesn't matter how you arrive in Lille. Once you're there, you'll be surrounded by a unique mix of Flemish and French culture. Of course, the train reigns supreme when getting to Lille, but do not sleep on the perks of arriving by plane or car. Yet, always remember that Lille stands as a gateway to the rest of Europe. This city in northern France is a convenient hub for those traveling across borders, but most importantly, its rich history and vibrant atmosphere provide a unique experience for all visitors. So next time you find yourself planning a trip to France, consider making Lille your main stop. Why not give Lille a shot and experience a city that not many are able to? And once you're ready to leave, its strategic location allows an easy access to other major European cities. Thanks for watching the video. Consider subscribing and leaving a like. Comment other tips on how to arrive in Lille. God bless you and have a great day.